I always gotta unlike my stuff like that. That looks desperate.
Desperate.
Okay.
Are we testing? Are we recording? Are we live?
It's recording.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
You just dropped a bomb on it.
Nice. Nice.
Hey.
All right. Well, if you excuse me, I was keyboard war fighting. Nah, not really. It was more like a friendly debate on the interwebs. It's on our last post that we did.
Was it on the YouTube channel or was it on the Instagram?
It was on the Instagram. If you didn't know, we do have an Instagram. Go check it out.
Check it out.
Nerd Mythology. Just like that, Nerd Mythology. But no, like it was that last clip that we did about, Moff Gideon, how he could possibly be a clone.
Yeah.
It seems to like spark people's interest, like people definitely seem concerned about it. Some people were just kind of like, well, why can't he just be dead? Like I was like, well, you can't just, it's going to take a lot more than just a Star Destroyer engulfing a whole cave and into flames to kill him off. You know what I mean? Like it's
I don't know.
That simple.
I don't know. If there's a way to do it, that'd be how it's done. With that being said, we did last episode we talked about there was a lot of clones as you saw earlier, so it could have been a clone. We're never gonna know until the future
exactly
movies
when
are made.
The season 4 comes out, or heck, maybe like in the Ahsoka series, whenever that comes out, maybe we'll get like a hint or something like that. I know like a buddy of mine had brought up a good point too, like all of those soldiers that fought the Mandalorians in the cave, they could have been all clones as well.
This is true.
This is, like it's a good possibility. We never saw their faces, so like they were always covered up. But it's
one
like
of them could have survived and took off.
Exactly. Yep. So it's like, like Disney's kind of playing it fast and loose with that one. So, I mean, he could well be dead completely. But it's like, the whole Marvel thing, right? If you don't see the character croak,
if you don't see him go, he's not dead.
He's not dead if he doesn't give his last breath on camera. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But speaking of what happens, so we just went out. We saw some Guardians of the Galaxy.
Tres.
Yep. And that boy. Brother, I went through like a whole roller coaster of emotions. I was up, I was down, I was up again, and I was down. Oh God, come on, man!
You got me.
I think three times for sure that I can recall, I definitely choked up. I was like, and by the way, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I would say skip right here. Go ahead and skip forward to whenever
let's go ahead and put in the description down below a timestamp of when we're gonna bring the next subject in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll do that for you guys, so that way, like, if you want to, like, go see it and be surprised, and go ahead and go do that. If you want the full recap,
here it is. Get ready.
So
don't say we didn't warn you.
So, like, right off the bat, Rocket. It's like, dude, not like this. Come on, Marvel. Don't play with my emotions. They
kind of
like
hinted, like, someone. Leading up to it, they were hinting someone was gonna die, and the whole time you're just sitting there like, who the hell is it gonna be? Obviously, my thought was Drax because Batista came out and said, "Hey, this is it for me.
This is last movie.
Done. It's hard keeping in shape just for this character.
Yeah,
understandable. The guy's up there in age, so working out. Many people before have said the same thing.
Absolutely.
Hugh Jackman as a Wolverine. He goes, I can't keep that body anymore. It's too hard. But so with that being said, I immediately thought it was going to be Drax. That was going to die.
Yeah.
And there was 2 scenes in there where he gets shot in the chest and then he gets shot in the back, and I was like,
this is it.
There it is. And then. Like moments later, he's there helping him walk. Yeah, and he's all right. And I was like,
the effects too, like everybody else crying over him, like no,
yeah, the scene looked very
and I was like,
emotional.
that was very real.
Oh, they fished.
And I was like, oh man, they got me good on that one. But like we started out with Rocket. Basically, he gets shot and he gets implanted like a little kill switch on his heart.
Yeah,
and that's basically taking him away slowly. And I thought like from the get go, I was like, oh, this is how we're gonna start the movie. You're making a statement right now. If you're really gonna kill out, like literally. And I was like, dude, there's no way. Like, come on, it can't be. But obviously, we find out that that's not the case. We kind of move forward, and then the next one was Drax. And it was that scene, they shoot him with like what was that? Like a cannon? It was like a, I don't know, like some laser cannon.
It was a big gun.
They hit him with like square in the chest, and then one in the back as well.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, buddy, I don't think you're gonna stand up from that one.
I want to get down to. I discussed this with you. I don't know if you remember. Right after the movie theater, when we got out into the parking lot, I discussed my issues with the movie. With all this being said, I still liked the movie.
Oh yeah,
I still
absolutely.
loved it. It was a good movie. I just had my own complaints on it. Knowing certain before going into the movie, I did a little bit of homework, and there were certain characters I expected to just be the main protagonist, the main villain, or it was going to be based all around this person,
right?
Or at least a lot more of this character,
right?
And that was Adam Warlock.
Everyone
was hyped. When they showed him in one of the scenes where he's sitting there just yelling, I was like, oh, this is going to get intense.
Yeah.
So the fight scenes with him are going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
So when we got out after seeing the movie, I was disappointed in the way they portrayed Adam Warlock. Not the actor. The actor portrayed a great Adam Warlock.
The character himself.
Yeah, the character himself. But I didn't like how they had Adam Warlock being played in this movie as pretty much an idiot.
Yeah.
He was an imbecile. He was like a grown man. Obviously, we've talked about this before, with a 3-year-old brain in it.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, yes, he was born yesterday per se, right? Like he was definitely born yesterday, but they didn't need to dumb him down that bad. Yeah.
And they even in the movie they said, well, you took him out too early, he wasn't done. I get it. I understand why they were trying to cover themselves on that aspect. But to give you some reference, in the movie for Adam in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, this dude, it starts off with him flying to nowhere.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy headquarters, and he's just traveling through space at light speed.
Yeah. And
he's wrecking shop.
Oh, yeah. And that's when, that's basically when he attacks, Guardians HQ, hits, not Gamora, but Nebula. He hits Nebula hard, too, like rips her arm out, like basically mangles her up. She has to, like,
pops her jaw straight out.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And I was like, oh, man. And then goes right for Rocket. Like, immediately just sees Rocket. It's like beelines it to him. And I was like, oh, man, what the heck is going on here? I thought that scene was beautiful. It was great.
That opening, I was like, if this is how the rest of the movie is, this is going to be intense.
But I definitely do share the same thoughts. Like I don't think that he needed to be dumbed down to compare.
Yeah.
Characters that were born yesterday. Vision. You have Vision that was a full machine computer. He was literally just learning, and they did not dumb him down that much either. He was.
With that being said, he is a supercomputer.
He is a supercomputer, but Adam Warlock is supposed to be like this high advanced race, created by the high evolutionary himself. And it's like, you're creating perfect beings, as you call them, and you made this one dumb. Like,
not only that, the fact that there was a few scenes to where they took him out too easy.
Yeah.
And when I mean by too easy, let me give you some reference on who Adam Warlock is. This dude at one point, and I have it written down here because I can never remember comic issues off the top of my head. The 1977 issue of Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing and Spider-Man. it basically they ended up going against Thanos,
Yeah.
and the rest of the Avengers are pretty much they're captured, and Thing gets knocked out. Spider-Man ends up freeing Adam from the Soul Gem, and when he comes out, this dude has the power to manipulate matter.
Yeah.
Could turn bullets into water.
Yeah.
He turned Thanos into stone, like that,
Just like that.
like that.
Yep.
So to be able to just take him out in some of the scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that easy, I was like, no, I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
But this dude should have been wrecking shop. He willed the Infinity Gauntlet with no issues.
No issues at all. Yeah.
He's basically a god.
He is basically, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he did portray like the strength and the ability of a god himself, but just in the capacity, like mental capacity of the character, it's just do better. Like that was not the best portrayal of Adam Warlock
No.
that you could have done. Hopefully, like in the next place that we see him, you know, he's definitely learned a little bit more, and maybe hopefully now he's a little bit more smarter in the dome up top. You know?
I just don't want them repeating an issue they made with another previous character, where they made him into a stupid goofball, man, and that was Zeus.
Oh yeah,
That was terrible. That was just an abomination of
a god that's been living for millions of years,
Yeah.
if anything, you know, like, and then they portrayed him as just this
and for him to get, I don't know, taken out. Not only did they play him as if he's an idiot,
yeah,
but I just felt like, really, that's how you're gonna take him out? A quick thunderbolt throw. To give you an example of just how powerful Zeus is, I stumbled upon this issue, and it's the 2011 The Incredible Hulk's issue 622, The Challenge of the Gods. And it's basically Hulk has to go to Mount Olympus to ask for their help to save his friends.
Okay.
You got both She-Hulks, Scar's son.
Yeah.
They're down there, and they're getting torn up by these creatures and
Right.
stuff. And so Hulk goes, Bruce Banner goes, all right, I'm going to go to Olympus and ask the gods for help.
right,
And these are all the Greek gods. And on his way up, Hercules goes, you don't know my father. You don't understand what kind of a man he is.
right,
And he goes, I understand, but I got to do this. He goes, do me one favor before I head on up. Hit me. Hercules obliged. Bam! Pops him right. Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, starts making his way up Mount Olympus.
yeah,
Zeus and Hera see this and save wave after wave of gods and monsters, and Hulk is just mowing them down.
Yeah.
He fights against Poseidon, tears them up, fights against every Greek creature out there, just tearing it up. Finally gets to the top, and there he is. There's Zeus sitting at the top. And he goes, to quote the comic book, he goes, you got spunk. I hate spunk. That's Zeus. Yeah, that was Zeus saying that.
Yeah.
And this battle ensues, and pretty much Hulk's like, fight me with your fists.
Yeah.
And because as Hulk got up to the top, Zeus just hits him with a thunderbolt. And I want to say, I think was it Prometheus? I can't remember which god. Pretty much walked up to him and he goes, he's still breathing. The Hulk's still breathing.
Yeah.
Hulk gets up and was like, quit being a coward and fight me one-on-one. And as Zeus is trying to do some monologue, Hulk, bam, pops Zeus, goes flying through Olympus. And Zeus gets up and goes, and that's when the moment he's like, you screwed up.
Yeah.
And they're going toe-to-toe.
That's
and
it.
Zeus is tearing the Hulk apart.
Good God.
He grabs him, hits him so hard in the stomach, his internals rip open.
No.
Yeah, the Hulk's just vomiting his own organs, and pretty much grabs him. And the way it went down was Zeus was talking to Hera while he's yakking up his bloods, and Hera's like, "You came to the wrong religion.
Yeah.
You came to the wrong gods."
Oh.
And Zeus banishes him, just tosses him down Olympus, falls down. Hulk wakes up, and he's chained to a stone. Now this part gets gnarly, because I asked you earlier if you played any of the original God of Wars.
The original God of Wars. No, and like I said, I might have like played, at like a friend's house or something like that, like bits and pieces here and there, but like never like the full game.
Okay. I want to say it's in God of War 2.
Okay.
Kratos is making his journey through, and he comes across a guy who's chained to this stone, right?
Okay.
I want to say he's was this in Hades? I can't remember if it was the underworld, and he comes across Prometheus.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the name?
Yeah, Prometheus.
Is the titan or god who pretty much created man, and he stole the fire from the gods to bring to the humans. And for that, Zeus pretty much banished him.
Yeah.
Took away his godlike powers and banished him.
Yeah.
So he's constantly chained to a stone while vultures eat him alive. His body will then re-heal itself at the end of the day, and at the beginning of the day, vultures come back and eat him again. For all eternity.
Yeah.
Kratos ends up saving him. So in the Incredible Hulk's issue 622, after Zeus had smacked him out of Olympus, Hulk wakes up being chained to a stone as the vultures come down and are eating him alive. And I was like, that's sick, gnarly. I mean, they pulled it straight out of the Greek mythology.
Yeah, out of the Greek mythology and like put it right into the comic. But oh man, that's amazing.
The Zeus we should have had.
That is, yeah.
Instead, we got a fat Russell Crowe. Listen, I like Russell Crowe and all that, but it didn't do it justice, man. I mean, you could have still had Russell Crowe play, because even in the movie, Russell Crowe's arms were pretty good size.
And Russell Crowe's like, he's the perfect actor for the role as well, because that's all he plays mainly. It's like all these
old Roman,
all of them. The Gladiator, come on, like that movie was amazing.
Great movie.
And like to portray him as the god of gods in the Greek mythology, and then he's just this lust driven.
What we got was a Zeus who just wanted orgies. Don't get me wrong. That's and if you look into it, that's pretty much what Zeus was all about.
Yeah.
But he was still the god of gods.
Yeah.
He wrecked shop.
It's crazy, man. That's nuts, man. And yeah, absolutely. That's the kind of development that we need. Obviously, like comic books. Like these writers, the storytellers in these comic books, they know what the audience wants.
Yes.
And the good thing about comic books is that if one doesn't do good, they can just go back, redo it again, and it's like, how about this?
How you digging this, huh?
Kind of play around, because we have, different volumes of comic book issues, because you have
different writers, different artists.
For example, Amazing Spider-Man #1 or the Hulk #1, right? How many Spider-Man #1s are there? How many Hulk #1s are there?
There's a lot, but obviously you have your original appearances.
Obviously, like the original
Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, you have a lot of different takes on the same character,
and it's just a different story being told. That's all. Like a different universe per se. Now, I think that's what we're going to be classifying them as now. Every different issue of or a different volume of all these characters, I think it's just a different universe where all this stuff is taking place. Whereas before it was just kind of like let's see what adventure Spider-Man gets into now. Let's see what adventure Thor gets into now.
And I like it because you have, not everyone thinks the same. So you can have a different writer who has this idea for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And, he may have came to the original writer and he was like, no, I don't see him doing that. So he's like, hey, I want to make an issue where Spider-Man goes through this. And turns out it's a great story. And who knew the audience would love it so much? There's this issue I recently was reading about and hearing about Spider-Man. I don't remember off the top of my head what issue it was, who was the writer, but Spider-Man is pretty much in this world. He's older, and he's in this world where Mary Jane messages him. He's like, hey, it's the anniversary, come home. He goes, I'll be right there. I'm out here saving the day. And as you start seeing more of the slides, you start seeing that the world is in crumble, dude.
Yep.
People are pretty much zombies. You see Doc Ock, and he's his arms are literally falling off.
Oh.
And every day, Spider-Man comes up to him and webs his arms back on him just to keep him kind of like alive and stuff.
Oh,
and
dude.
he ends up swinging up to the top of the tower where Reed Richards is.
Yeah.
So you look at Reed Richards and he's not affected. He looks just like Peter Parker.
Right.
They're all normal, and they're trying to pretty much fix the world. Turns out like an apocalyptic event happened, and everyone's just either dead or zombified.
An incursion.
Yeah.
Yep.
And pretty much for some reason Spider-Man wasn't affected, so he's out there every day. Buildings are falling, and he's just webbing them up.
Yeah.
And he ends up towards the end of the issue, he ends up swinging on home, and he goes, "Sorry, MJ, I was late." Only for it to pan over, and MJ's pretty much a corpse. She's been dead for years.
Yeah.
And he just breaks down.
Oh.
It continues on where he swings out to Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and he snapped. He finally had it after years.
That's it.
Peter Parker just lost it, and it goes on to where you see Peter Parker's webbing up people with this new web, and it's stronger. It's holding everything together.
Yeah.
Turns out it was Reed Richards. He used Reed Richards' body because he is elastic.
Oh.
Yeah. If I will.
What?
Yeah. It got dark quick. I was like, what the? He's using Mr. Fantastic to web everything up. And it's because he's elastic. He's so strong in the body. He's keeping everything. So all the buildings stop falling. Doc Ock, his arms are staying on.
Oh my God. That got dark.
Quick. But as I was reading it, I was like, it hooked me. It hooked me.
Oh my
So I'm going to look more into it.
Yeah.
I'll come back with you guys on what issue it is. But yeah, just I'm sure if you look into it, there are other people that have covered this issue.
Definitely.
It gets good.
Tune in again, for the next episode. We'll definitely cover all this kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I know there's been a few issues. Like I know last time you were talking about like Spider-Man, like being unhinged and being
Stop pulling his punches.
Stop pulling his punches. You know, it's like the best movie quote that I've heard. Like in Spider-Man No Way Home, it's like like when I lost Gwen, I just stopped pulling my punches out. Damn.
Good. You take, and I love it, right? For someone who's I'm going to use the word for a nerd to hear a line like that and get so passionate about it, because you were truly able to understand what that line fully meant.
Exactly.
Those are one of those quotes that you get the goosebumps, the hair stand up on the back of your neck. You're like, oh, that was a great line.
Oh yeah.
Was that probably your favorite line you've ever heard?
I think so. So far, it's like one of the best, because it's like Spider-Man's always the good guy. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He never wants to hurt anybody. Like heck, even with his enemies, he still pulls his punches. He still doesn't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
And then like just a traumatic event. It took that for him to lose the love of his life, for him to just snap and just say, you know what? What's the point? Like why hold back? These people didn't hold back. They tried to hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt them back.
I got the two lines that get me every time I hear them, and both of them were quoted by the Punisher. Two different characters playing the Punisher.
Right.
So there's the first Punisher with I forget his name every time.
I know who you're talking about.
Yep. So the line where he picks up his shirt that is sun bottom and it's the Punisher skull.
Yeah.
Wraps it up, and the man who saved him on the boat goes, "Go with God, Castle."
Yeah.
And he turns to him and goes, "God's gonna sit this one out." And I was like, "Oh man!" And then the second line from the Punisher was the Punisher movie called Warzone.
Yeah.
Intense movie. I loved it. A lot of people hated it. I loved it, but I absolutely loved the character.
Yep.
There was a scene where he's in church, and I can't remember what the priest had said to him, but Punisher turns to him and he goes, "Sometimes I'd like to get my hands on God." And I was like, man, it tells you just how much hate is in this dude's heart.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Everything that made that man human is gone and dead.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like it just goes to show you, like being the superhero, right? Like being the good guy in the story. You can't always be the good guy.
Can't always be the good
Can't
guy.
always, like try to look for a positive outcome. You can't always like see if there's a resolve, like if there's a way to like find common ground.
You can't be Batman all the time, man.
Yeah, sometimes
you got to break that rule.
Sometimes you got to resort to violence. Violence is a hell of a motivator, you know.
That's it's a hell of a motivator. That in Batman Begins, when he's fighting Ra's al Ghul in the subway train, and he goes, "You're gonna have to break your one rule," and Batman pretty much goes, "I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you," and just popped his wings out. I was like, "Oh, he found a loophole."
Yep, that's it. That was it. Yeah, it's great, man. Like I love to see all these characters evolve and develop, and we veered hard from Guardians.
Oh, we did.
If we talk again about Guardians, I'll go ahead and put the next timestamp to go ahead and skip over. But reeling it back, we get that, right. So we get so we talked about Rocket, we talked about Drax. We need to talk about Peter Quill, right? Peter Quill goes through like a whole emotional roller coaster as well, because if you notice, and even James Gunn himself talked about this, first movie is Peter Quill dealing with the death of his mother.
Yes.
Right? And he's trying to like process that. Like you saw that he never opened his mom's present until the end of the movie, and he's like, okay, I finally like get to lay this to rest. Second movie, he deals with the loss of his dad, right?
Yep.
He finds that Ego is his dad, but really he's not. Well, he is, and he isn't. He's
yeah.
And then he finds out that Yondu has been that father figure that has been there for him this whole time. How's the quote go? He might have been your. He might have been your dad.
He might have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy.
He might have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. And it's like,
right there in the heart.
God bless America, Yondu.
Yeah, Yondu.
R.I.P. But that one, and it was really cool to see the Easter egg, see the cameo scene from Yondu in Volume 3 as well. That I choked up again. I choked up right there.
Trying to remember in my head, where was the Easter egg for Yondu?
For the Easter egg for Yondu was when Kraglin, when he was figuring out, like, finally got his moment of realization to use the little, the fin on his head.
Yeah, that controls
the arrow. And he's about to go against the whole army. And he's just like, I don't know if I can do this. How did Yondu do it?
Oh, and you hear the voice.
And then he's like, you got to use your heart, boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Use your heart. Yeah, and I was like, man, that was a really cool cameo that they did there for Yondu. That was amazing. To bring it back basically full circle, and it's like it's not up here.
It's yeah,
right here.
You don't use your head. Use your heart.
Use your heart, boy. That was great. But basically, yeah, like the second movie deals with the loss of his dad and him trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
This movie is just Peter Quill processing his whole friendship, his family in general, like the family that he developed with the Guardians, the family that he built, and obviously Gamora was supposed to be part of it, but being that this is a different Gamora from a different time, then it's
she brings that up many times.
Yeah, exactly. And then like there was like a little hint there at the end, like at the end there was like a little hint, like there might be a chance.
When she said, I ain't gonna lie, I choked up a little bit when she was like, I bet we were cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And he goes
like,
I think he said something like, you have no idea or something. I was like,
ooh,
man,
right there,
right in the old corazon.
Yeah. But definitely Peter Quill goes through like that whole, he's this whole time, all three movies is just him emotionally trying to like figure out like what kind of relationship he wants to have and what kind of person he wants to be, And I think that was really cool, very clever also to drag that along for 3 movies. Dude, that takes some dedication and like well done.
James Gunn, he's a good director,
He don't miss.
He don't miss. So I'm excited with that, seeing this. I'm still seeing all 3 Guardians. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the DC. I've said it many times before, but go back to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I had minor picks about what I didn't like about it, but I'll say it again. It was still a great movie.
Yeah.
I still liked it.
Amazing.
Great story. You saw more character development for Mantis.
Absolutely.
Mantis pretty much, by the end of the movie, she's like, everyone had pretty much went their own way.
Yeah.
Rocket's now the leader of the Guardians.
Groot is just a roid rage monster now.
He is massive. What the... Oh, my God. He's been hitting the bench.
Dude.
He is huge.
The bench, he's just on the back of the ship, just lifting the ship. Like,
man, he's gigantic. Obviously, I haven't gone into a whole lot of Guardians issues, comics. I haven't read a whole lot of them. So I don't know if that's how big Groot ever really got.
So, like, what we got, the whole thing that we've been told up until this point is that this was going to be the alpha version of Groot. This was going to be the version of Groot that we were going to get, right?
Well, they weren't lying.
And they weren't kidding, man. Because, like, the first version... So, like, to be very clear, so you guys are not confused, this is not the same Groot as in Guardians 1. This is not the same Groot. It's like... It is, but it isn't, right? Because it's a branch off of what Groot was.
Yeah.
But that Groot is gone. That personality of Groot is gone. That's why, like, different
that loving,
body style. Yeah.
Because like in the first one, you see Groot, and Groot's this kind of like this distinguished old man.
Yeah, exactly.
With a kind heart.
Absolutely.
And stuff. And obviously at the very end, you see that he engulfs the Guardians in a ball to save them. And he's gone. All you have left is a twig. From there, that twig grew from a child to an adolescent, to a teenager, and then, in the last Guardians, we see that he's just like he was left off from the Christmas special,
right? Yeah,
where he's yoked out.
And it's like, good God!
And then at the very end, you see him again. Time has passed.
Our post-credit scene, like
he's giant, and that's an understatement. He is massive. Like he's easily the size. He's like a yoked out Hulk. Like he's freaking huge.
Absolutely. Like it threw me off, because like when they were just kind of like sitting there in a circle, like picking their favorite songs, and it's like, all right, Groot, come on, let's go.
And you thought it was a boulder behind him.
Yeah, you thought it was a boulder. Yeah. It's like, that's crazy.
He just stands up. I was like, oh my God.
Like, what the heck?
I do think it was freaking awesome that obviously of all the characters there, Groot's the strongest. Groot's stronger than Drax, even though Drax held his own against Adam.
Absolutely.
But when Adam stopped pulling his punches, it just knocked out Drax. But when he went against Groot, dude, he was grinding him to the ground, grinding him against the buildings. Groot was tearing him up for a minute. I was like,
crazy.
Damn.
Yep. It's crazy.
Insane.
I know what was that scene where Drax was fighting somebody and Drax is basically was it when he grabbed Adam Warlock and he like chucked him across? Like when he went to like
he picked him up, and just swung him,
him, and he like
a
flew.
rag doll.
Yeah, like he flew. And then, so this is another gripe that I have as well. Like I kind of like, I get what they're doing, but kind of like, dude. So you made Drax look like a badass in this movie. Like, strong, like super strong. We didn't realize how strong he was. But then in Infinity War and Endgame, when he's trying to fight against, like the aliens, and then when he wanted to go against Thanos, I think he would have held up.
Oh, he would have held his own. Absolutely.
I think he would have held up with Thanos. So Drax versus Thanos now, like I think
in that sense of the way they portrayed him in Guardians 3.
Exactly.
Yes, that Drax can handle his own against Thanos.
Obviously, Infinity Stones.
We know.
Obviously, we know the outcome of that. But But being said, you know, like Drax versus Thanos, I think he can hold his own.
I mean, he went against Adam Warlock, and like I've said before, Adam was so underplayed. He turned Thanos into stone. He has the power of teleportation. Did you know that? He could think of where he wants to go.
Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock, and bam, he's there.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that. What?
Nope. Yeah, no.
All right. Hold on. Let me pause real quick.
Yeah, pause. Back to it. Adam Warlock has the power of teleportation.
Yep.
He doesn't use it quite often, from my understanding, but if he wanted to, wherever he wants to be, bam,
he's there.
He's there.
I did not know that.
This guy is a
god. Is it Adam Warlock with the Soul Stone embedded in his?
It probably is Adam Warlock with the Soul Stone.
Okay, because I can see it that way.
Yeah.
Just teleporting by itself with no other technology is kind of like, well,
yeah,
maybe. But I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like in the comics, for sure, he was definitely like portrayed to be a god. We're in the MCU. There needs to be like a portrayal of like, how can this be possible? You know, how is this possible?
Explain how that power is given to him.
Exactly. But you know, that being said, Nebula, I didn't expect her to be that strong either. Picking up Peter Quill and just like, all right, let's go over here. Like, not even breaking a sweat.
It is so fun. Did you see the behind the snes?
I did.
That was that. By the way, that is not a. If you guys haven't seen it, I follow Chris Pratt and what's her name? I forget how to pronounce it every time. Is it Key? I don't know. I'm gonna butcher it. I don't even want to insult her.
I don't know.
But Nebula, the one who plays Nebula, she posted on her Instagram a video of her looking at the doll. It's a doll, and they are creeped out. They're like, that looks
full-size doll, that
looks identical to Chris Pratt. Peter Quill.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell is it like? And they're going, pick it up, see if you can carry it. And it only weighs like 35 pounds.
35 pounds.
She's able to do it, and she's like dancing around with it.
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt's freaked out. I was like, that is insane.
That's crazy,
that looks
dude.
just like.
That's crazy because at first I thought that's some good CGI, you know, like that chick picking up that full grown man.
Nope, that's just a doll.
No, it's just a doll. It's like, what?
Yep.
I mean, makes me wonder, how much did that doll cost? What do you think? Give it a number figure right now.
A number figure? Well, I'm going to say whoever's did it, you are good at your job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say in the time, the man hours to do it, man, I'm going to go, let's say 10,000.
That's it?
I mean, how much more could you?
Dude, no. There's no way. There's no way.
You think it's going to cost more than 10 grand?
I'm going to say right now, I would say about 200.
No
200K.
way. That seems...
Dude,
no.
Dude, like a full-sized body.
But have you ever seen how
it was specifically made for the production, right?
Yeah.
And God knows how many man hours went into this, right? And obviously because it's a studio, they have to go through like all these, you know, like things that probably got shipped, you know, what I mean, let's not even
have you ever seen how the makeup artists do certain prosthetics?
Yeah.
I think they made a mold out of his face, and then if you see how they do the pouring and stuff, and like the silicone forms and stuff, it's insane what you can do. So I don't because 200 just sounds.
James Gunn actually
seems high, man. That seems really high.
But he also did say that there was electronics inside of that body.
Oh, to like make it look like he's breathing.
To make it look like he was breathing, and then also like, you know, just like little bodily. Obviously, it was like a rag doll, but it had to be like very realistic. It couldn't just be like, you know, like this mannequin just kind of like jiggling. Okay,
then I'm gonna say with that, I'm gonna be generous too. 20 grand. I think 20 grand, and I think that's how much it costs to make it. Obviously, set props are worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
people will be like, I want that.
Absolutely.
I saw that AC Cobra. In Iron Man 1 when the suit crashes on it.
Yep.
I saw that go for sale, and that went for a pretty price just because it was in the Iron Man movie. But maybe the prosthetic alone, you know, if someone sold it, might go for more than 20 grand. You know, to some diehard fan out there.
Yeah.
But I don't see it being I don't see it being a Lambo. I don't see it being a Huracan, man.
Drop it in the comments. Let us know how much was that full body Chris Pratt. Dude, I'm telling you, it had to be up there. Like I think it's too low. I think it's too low. But anyway.
Yeah.
But no, like Nebula did a great job too, you know, like picking up that body. Also, you know, like that shows me that she was actually stronger than what she would let on. Because she landed some good blows on Adam Warlock too when they fought.
Yeah.
And I was that's
well, she has that upgraded arm.
She definitely does. And I was about to bring that up too. The upgraded arm, is it still Bucky's arm? Or this is somebody else? This is a completely new arm.
I don't think it was Bucky's arm, because the arm was given to Rocket.
Well, Rocket gave her Bucky's arm in the Christmas special.
Oh, that's right. Son of a.
So it's like, did that arm do that all along?
No, hold on.
Or is this a completely different arm? Because I don't think
that she wasn't given the arm, was she? I thought Rocket was given the arm.
Mm-mm. Rocket went down to Earth, stole the arm from Bucky, brought it back up to space, and gave it to Nebula.
I think it's the other way around.
Remember this Christmas special?
Yeah,
because Rocket gives her the gift, and he's like, "Here you go."
I think they gave it to Rocket because Rocket wanted the arm the whole time.
Well, Rocket wanted the arm in Infinity War. I remember that. It's like, "Hey,
I'm gonna get that arm."
Like, how much you want for that arm?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna get that arm, and then they finally paid it.
I think, you know what? Leave it down there. Someone correct it. Who's right? Because I think it was the other way. I think Rocket was given the arm as a Christmas gift.
No, I think it was definitely Nebula. Rocket definitely gave it to Nebula.
I'm saying Rocket got the gift. Anyways, besides me being right, is it can be. I mean, it could be nanotech from that arm, because you saw the arm formed to different weapons.
Kind of like a Tony Stark, you know, like nanotech suit.
Yeah, she straight up had the T-1000 freaking arm. She was the Terminator.
The Terminator arm. Yeah,
her body could turn into different weapons.
Like, whoa!
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from? That's crazy too, because so it turned into like a firing weapon, like a melee weapon, and it also turned into like a tool, you know, at the end when she was piloting the ship, you know, with the one arm. And it's like, okay, all right, so this arm can do a few things. Noted. But where did that arm come from? It's a mystery. So
I liked the character development of Nebula.
Definitely.
She became a pillar for the Guardians.
Oh yeah.
You know, Peter's going through some rough times, dealing with Gamora not being there anymore.
Right.
So you see the beginning, and it's basically Nebula who's keeping everything together. From the beginning, it looks like she's the leader of the Guardians.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, I think like ever since Peter lost Gamora, I think Nebula's just been picking up the slack ever since.
And I'm gonna 100% thank Tony Stark for it. I feel, I think RDJ. Yep. I'm gonna say Tony Stark. When they were stuck on that ship,
yeah,
he pretty much humbled her.
He did.
He was pretty much telling her hey, why you ain't gotta be so mad all the time.
Yeah,
and she was kind of understanding. I think she started to see the what's the word I'm looking for?
The human aspect,
because he was dying, so she started
vulnerability.
Yeah, vulnerability. Yeah. She started caring for Tony as he was dying.
Yeah,
and I think that kind of opened her up. To
some of these people, they don't, heal like me. They don't grow like me. They don't get older like me. They don't.
Yeah.
These people become more fragile as they start to age or as they start to lose nutrients. Whereas she's replaced, with parts, basically. Like, she's got different parts, that make up her whole body. But it kind of was a eye-opener for her to, see that, oh, man, this dude's about to die.
They turned, not only that, they turned her from, you saw, she's very hateful. and now she cares.
Yeah, absolutely. Now she really cares about like the people that's on Nowhere, all of the Guardians family, and like now she's going to be like, I think that she's going to be like a space mom for all those little girls that they saved at the end.
All the kids.
Yeah, and I was like,
because she stayed when at the very end when all the Guardians decide splitting up, they're all going their own ways. Mantis said she needs to find her way. Peter goes, I'm going home.
Yep.
I'm gonna go see the Gramps. And then Nebula's like, I'm gonna stay here
and run
HQ headquarters.
Yeah, headquarters.
And Drax is like, I gotta go, and they go, nope, Drax, I need you.
Yeah.
I was like,
you don't got a choice.
I like that.
I respect that. Yeah.
It was like a way to keep Drax part of the family, even though Batista said he's not playing that character again.
I mean, that being said, that's also another like, I think we'll see him in another film, but as a cameo, not like a full blown part of the part of the movie. He's just gonna do like little cameos here and there, and because he went into the role that he did, like being a father figure for all these little kids. Yeah. Now he's gonna go full dad bod.
We're gonna see, like we saw fat Thor, we're gonna see fat Drax
eating Twinkies and wearing dad shorts.
Now here's the thing,
with the New Balance.
Here's the thing, they did not deserve to do that to Thor. Drax, on the other end, because he's got that playful demeanor from beginning.
Yeah,
obviously in the comics it's a little bit different, but because they have him playful like that in the MCU from day one.
Yep,
we're okay with it. We adjusted to it. So I'm okay with seeing a fat Drax. 100%.
100%.
I think I'm like,
all right, I'm down for. I'm down. I'm good. I'm good with it.
Dad bod Drax.
Dad bod Drax.
Dad bod Drax. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm expecting to see the shorts, the jean shorts, the New Balances with the with the socks up to the shins, and a polo or like Kiss the Chef shirt.
Let's talk about another important character that we haven't mentioned once yet. Cosmo. Cosmo. Yep. So we finally got a lot more for Cosmo, the psychic dog that was sent into space.
We got like a backstory too for Cosmo as well. Yeah. And it was like the actual backstory as to how Marvel developed Cosmo.
Well, you see, I'm trying to remember in my head on how they explained it, but I remember she was explaining, they sent me into space, blah, blah, blah.
That was actually real life.
Well, I know they sent a dog into space.
And it was the Russians. They sent the dog into space, and obviously,
pretty
like the story, the story's a little bit different.
Yeah,
that way,
the real life story's pretty sad.
Marvel took that and said, like, let's run with it.
Let's run.
Yeah, let's run with it. Okay,
they experimented on her,
exactly,
and now she's got psychic powers.
Psychic powers,
and how could you not like a dog? So, I'm a dog person.
I'm gonna say it right now. She's a good dog.
She's a good dog.
She's a good dog.
# good dog.
I don't care what Kraglin says. Stupid Kraglin.
Yeah, they show just how powerful she is, and I was like, man, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then they teased us. They teased us again, you sons of guns. They teased us with Howard the Duck.
Oh, Howard the Duck.
They showed him for a moment. And, he had a line or two.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And then that was it. And I was like, you mother flippers.
And I mentioned this to you, and I don't know if I'm gonna like this if they do end up doing this. You know how they've been like slowly making every Marvel movie out there canon, right? Yeah. Like every show, every series, they've been like slowly pulling it all in.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be very upset. I don't know if they actually make that Howard the Duck movie from the 80s, if they make that canon. Because listen, I saw the animation for Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
And I saw everything. And I was like, oh my God. And remember even Abe was telling us that was a horrible movie.
It was made in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah.
So I can excuse it, man.
He said he went to go see it in the theater. I was like, man,
yep.
Congratulations, because I don't know if I would have given it that much.
Abe's, he he was just like us when he started off. He was into comics and stuff. Obviously, he's not into it anymore, or he's not as
involved
with it anymore. He doesn't have any of his old comics or anything like that. But
he does like to keep up. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. It's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's sit down. But yeah, like Howard the Duck, he looked really good. Like the CGI on it, or a mannequin if they did. I don't know.
Oh, that was one
costume
CGI.
It was pretty good, and he actually had lines to say, like actual dialogue, not just like a quick like whatever.
Speaking of lines.
Lines.
Groot's last line.
Oh man, that I was like, God.
Everyone knows I am Groot. That is Groot's only words he could speak.
Yep.
The very end, you hear him say, "I love you guys."
You know, he almost got fired.
Vin Diesel? Why?
Because instead of saying "I love you guys," he wanted to say, "This is my family."
Shut up. Oh my God.
Nothing else matters but family. Family.
Oh my God. I'd have fired him too. You're done. Get out of here. You're done. You're lying to me, right? You're lying, right?
Am I?
Oh my God. No.
Let us know.
Hashtag no family. No. Oh my God.
Oh, I actually did see a post about it online saying how, like he almost got fired because he kept messing up his line, talking about family.
Oh, sorry, wrong movie.
Oh, whoops, wrong movie. It doesn't matter when you got family.
It doesn't matter. Well, Fast and Furious, they have gone to space.
God.
Could you imagine just sitting there on the Guardian ship and then you just see a 1969 Charger?
Dodge Charger?
Oh, man. No.
I wonder, the best, I swear, if they do it, I will forever love Vin Diesel for even playing along. I just want to see Groot one time. Groot in a 69 Dodge Charger. That's it. I just want to see that.
Or
like, if they come to Earth and they put Groot in a 69 Dodge Charger, just like, family.
That or do a cameo. Do a cameo in the last, because apparently there's one more Fast and Furious after this one.
Yeah.
Which, just stop, please. Stop. I hate your family. I'm tired of it, man. But with that being said, I think it'd be hilarious if in the last Fast and Furious they just show Vin Diesel watering a twig. I'd be like, yeah. Out of all that, I'd be like, if I even have a thought that he's gonna do something like that,
I'm telling you,
very last one, I'll go to the movies to see it. I haven't gone to the last few movies to see it. I'll wait till it's out on cable.
Yep.
That one I'll go.
Yep.
I'll go twice.
Just watering like a little twig.
Yep. And then it ends with him looking up at the stars.
Oh God.
Well, Peter Quill's back to Earth. What if they?
Peter Quill is back to Earth.
Peter? So now that he's back on Earth, he can eventually run into Vin Diesel.
Yep.
Dom Toretto.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Don't you dare do that.
Cross those.
Don't you dare. Anyway, but great movie overall. Also, like if you guys didn't catch it, if you guys didn't notice it, we also got our first glimpse of Quasar in the MCU.
Did they?
So the little girl.
Did they confirm that's who that was?
So it's not confirmed. Obviously, nothing's ever confirmed until somebody comes out and says like, "I'm Quasar." But the little girl that was basically running in the hamster wheel And the High Evolutionary was very praising her for, you know, like, oh man, she's amazing. Like she can do this, that, you know, survive on 30 calories, blah, blah, whatever. It's like, okay, cool. And then you see her, that same little girl on the post-credit scene, you know, like her eyes light up and everything. You know, that's our first introduction to Quasar in the MCU. Quasar, it's like another space-based character along those lines with Adam Warlock, kind of. It's like kind of like this holy-ish character that likes to, you know, like fights for good and, you know, whatever. But obviously Quasar in the comics and in every adaptation that we've seen, it's always a man. Recently there was an animated series for Guardians of the Galaxy that showed Quasar as a girl, and basically it's Phyla Vell is the character's name. Okay. So Phyla Vell is the daughter of Mar-Vell. So
the original
Mar-Vell.
Okay.
So she's the daughter of Mar-Vell, and that she ends up getting these powers and turns into Quasar.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool to see her in the roster, and pretty cool to see that Marvel actually introduced the character, because that's another really cool character as well. I've never been like a huge Quasar fan. Like I know very little about it.
Me as well.
Just seeing that, it's like, hey, you know, we're introducing new characters, we're bringing in new characters as well. Like, it's really cool to see. So we appreciate that. But on that, you know, like I think that's everything for Guardians, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
No, I think we hit it on the nail.
I think we hit it on the nail. Moving forward, there's going to be a lot of clashing heads. Right now, there's a writer's strike.
There is.
Did you hear about that?
I've heard about it.
A lot of these shows and series are on pause right now because, like, writers, like, what's that even all about? Like,
I guess they're not paying them adequately. So they're just on strike. There's a lot of shows because you know these hosts don't write their own material, and you could tell by how terrible Jay Leno's jokes always were. But yeah, people don't write their own stuff anymore. There's a backlash behind Jenna Ortega right now. For some reason they decided to go against her, which I stand with Jenna Ortega, because a lot of the stuff that for those. Everyone should know by now. Jenna Ortega played Wednesday Addams. And the Wednesday show for Netflix. And there was a lot of stuff that the writers wrote, and she did her homework. She did her proper due diligence.
Right.
In learning what this character was, this person.
Right.
And she looked at a lot of the writing. She goes, Wednesday would never say that.
Yeah.
Wednesday would not do this. So she had to keep fighting with the writers. Hey, this. And so a lot of the writers are against Jenna right now. They're like, she's the problem with it. They don't trust us writers. Since they don't trust us, you guys can do your own writing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I can see this going both ways, right? Because Jenna Ortega, like if she did her homework, then good for her, good absolutely. On her, because I applaud it. That's exactly what actors need to do. They need to do their homework.
She
and
pulled
make
a Henry
sure that
Cavill,
exactly,
saying no, that is not how this character is portrayed. That he would never do this.
Exactly. That being said, I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now.
Play it. Play that. Fiddle.
Writers. The reason why they write is because they want their own adaptation of a certain character.
I get that.
To come to life. So obviously we've seen the original, right? Mm-hmm. We all saw the original Addams Family, right? Like all the movies, the shows, everything. But to see that somebody comes out now and says, "Hey, I want to do a series about this. I want to like show my portrayal of this character."
Yeah.
And it's like, that's valid as well. Like I can see they want to give it like a different spin. Yeah. But obviously, you know, like most people,
you have diehards that are exactly not the character.
That's not the character. That's not how that character is supposed to be portrayed. But it's like right now, a lot of people. Did you ever see the Scooby-Doo remake that they did? The Velma show. That's what it was. Yeah. very bad backlash on that. Very bad. Because, listen, you screwed with one of the favorites, dude. Like, I don't care who you were. If you grew up in the 90s,
you watched Scooby-Doo.
You watched Scooby-Doo.
Oh, absolutely.
Religiously.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't realize how much I've seen of that show, but you could probably put an episode on and be like, oh, damn,
I know
seen
exactly.
This.
Yeah, I know exactly what episode it is. Who was the bad guy? Who played it? And who said meddling kids? Right? Like, I know everything about that show.
Yeah, you did. You didn't know. And not only that, from my understanding, I didn't watch any of it. They made it a little woke.
Very. And
so
also, we never, like, when we saw Scooby-Doo growing up, Scooby-Doo was just, the whole idea behind it was just kids solving mysteries, catching bad guys. That's it. None of the growing pains, none of like the emotional, development of a character, et cetera. And if we did, it was, throughout the show, these characters develop that way. Not like, realizing that, oh, I'm at an age to meet boys, or I'm at this age to do this, to do that, do certain grown up activities.
I'm gonna do what you did. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I understand that, right? Like you said, there wasn't a whole lot of character development. It was simply a kid show.
Yeah.
Okay, we're solving the mysteries.
Yep.
It was all behind a mystery. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna go too in depth on the characters. We have a base storyline. You understand what these characters' strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're not gonna show them their growing pains.
Yep.
This was someone else's let's take these characters, let's dive more into who they really are.
Yeah, who they really are.
Obviously, it was a show. It turned out to be a show no one wanted to see.
I think they just did it wrong. If they did wanted to do that specifically, dive more into a character's life, do it, but do it properly. Like, don't just be like, oh, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, I think they were also talking about, the birds and the bees.
Oh no, it wasn't a kids show anymore. It's 100% an adult or a 17 plus show,
17 up show, and it's like, I think Scooby-Doo is definitely a family type show. It shouldn't be a just adult show. It should be a family type show, because that's what we grew up with, man. Like, that's what we saw. It's like another one, MODOK on Hulu.
Yep.
That show.
Wait, MODOK. I'm trying to think.
So Hulu actually did a MODOK series.
Did they really?
They did, and it's an R-rated or mature rated, whatever. And it's a Robot Chicken style type show.
Okay.
For Marvel. So you see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to be like a comedic spin, right? Like, kind of raunchy comedy.
I think now that you mention it, I think I remember seeing some of it.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be like a raunchy type comedy type show, but again, you're taking a kid's character, like a character from a comic book that's supposed to be just evil or whatever, and you're showing him with a life, with a wife, with kids.
I definitely remember seeing the trailers to
and
it.
It's like, what in the world? I think that was another one that didn't really get
traction.
A lot of traction as well.
So I think if you are going to make one of these, and this is just my opinion, I think you have to blatantly come out and say, hey, the director, the actors, like, here's a character. Obviously, the trailer speaks for itself. You kind of understand. Yep. But I think you'd be like, I want to portray this character not as your normal iconic character, that you're known. I'm going to give him a different spin. This is just my take on how I think the character would look cool being portrayed.
Yep.
It's not an insult to the original in what way whatsoever. With that being said, you have a lot of fans that are diehards, and I can't fault them because I'm the same way with certain characters.
Absolutely.
I don't want to. I love the Punisher and I love the Hulk.
Yep.
So to see them portrayed in a certain way, I get irritated. I get mad.
Yeah.
We don't insulted.
We don't like it.
we don't like it. So that's my opinion on it. I'm right. I'm wrong.
You know, let us know.
Yeah.
That's why we have this platform. We can discuss. We can talk about it. If you guys have a topic that you might want to have us bring up, let us know.
Comments down below.
That being said as well, damn, I'm bringing up a lot of topics here. I've been getting like some comments, right? Anime. They like people watch their anime. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm not big into anime. The best anime, you can hate me for this. I'm gonna cause some hate and discontent right now.
Let me hear it. I like it.
Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is the best.
First off, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in any way on that one. That's a staple. That's a pillar in the anime world, in my opinion. I do watch some anime. I'm not hardcore into it. There's so many shows out there. I love some of the animations for some of these shows. I don't watch them particularly, but I love the animation I love the drawing style. We definitely have a buddy that has been mentioning anime and stuff. And
we'll see if we can get him on here, and if he talks about anime, he's gonna be gonna be running the show. Basically,
I have a few shows I can talk about. Like I said, I've watched some anime growing up,
and I know I had a buddy too that reached out, saw listened to the podcast, and gave me some feedback. He's like, "You gonna be talking about anime?" Or it's like, "All right, I guess this is a thing."
Just for you guys, next episode, we're gonna make it an anime special. I got you guys.
All right, here it is.
I got you.
So like that being said too, like I know I've been saying that a lot. That being said, it sounds weird.
That's your slogan.
That being said.
I think the word I say a lot is damn.
That being said. That being said. Anyway. But I actually started watching Demon Slayer. The guy at work, he was telling me it's the best anime. Like the graphics on it is one of the best out there.
That's a bold statement.
And like I saw it and it looks really good. Like I'm not gonna argue with him there.
Yeah.
I think that what he's talking about is like in the traditional anime sense, the graphics, the animation, the movement, the fluidity of like all of the characters, like how smooth they all look when they do their movements. I think that's why he said it's one of the best, because right now that's another one that I've been watching is Star Wars Visions. And right now, Lucasfilms, if you are going to be making all of these Star Wars Visions shows, I'm going to need an anime for each and every single episode that you have shown on there. They're all great. They're all amazing. Dude, there's one episode on there right now, and it's like this kid that his master gets killed, and he's filled with rage. He's a Jedi. And think of a Jedi, like in an anime. I would 100% record every episode. I'd watch it. That would be It's intense. On Disney Plus right now.
That'd be amazing.
Star Wars Visions is that portrayal of an anime in Star Wars.
So is it the same style? Is it the same style of artwork and stuff?
They're all different. So every single episode is different. It's a different studio. Different animation studio that does their portrayal of an anime, and then they do a story. And dude, I'm telling you right now,
that's like have you ever seen that show? Not to go off topic real quick, but it's on Netflix. It's called like Love Something and Robots. Great show. I highly, and I mean this full-heartedly, I highly recommend.
So like I never saw that show because it just looked weird.
Every episode is different.
Every episode is different.
Animation. And it's every episode's a different story.
Oh, okay. So
Some of them are insane.
That's exactly how this is. Star Wars Visions is exactly like that.
Okay.
Every single episode is a different animation, different story, different everything.
And they almost have nothing to do with each other.
Exactly. And
you got me hooked. That's I'm going to start watching it.
The only problem I have with it, it's a short episode. They're like maybe 10, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like, first episode of season 2, it's this girl. She was a former. So I don't want to ruin it for you, but she's a. I'll show you. After we're done here, I'm gonna pull it up.
All right.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it for yourself because that episode was so good, and it I was like, really, because you've heard of Jedi, getting out of the order.
Yeah.
This one completely flipped the rules. This one flipped the rules completely.
Okay, you got me hooked. I'm hooked.
And they introduce us to a new Sith, and it's like, whoa. Yeah, I'm telling you, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it.
We'll talk about that. Like you said, we're gonna give you guys some animation if that's something you guys want to listen to or hear us discuss. Next episode, we'll dive into the animation world. We'll start branching out. I know we talk about a lot of comics and Star Wars here. We're gonna start. This is nerd mythology. Everything nerdy should be covered.
Absolutely,
so we're gonna cover it all. Anything from classic movies to the world of animation. We're gonna start branching out more.
I know, like, we've been talking about like the same topics, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter, because those are the hottest topics right now.
And that's what we're passionate
about. That's what we're passionate about. But definitely, absolutely, every genre should be covered.
Yep.
So we will start, bringing, when things slow down, around like all the new stuff, because also we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
across
the Spider-Verse. I get these titles all messed up. Tickets are on sale right now. Go get those. I already got mine. But that's going to be the next thing. So whenever that one comes out, we'll talk about it, discuss it, and we'll dive deep into it. So yeah, definitely. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about. Tell us what you like about it, what you don't. Tell us if we should do something different here.
Yeah.
Do you like the background? Do you like the table? Do you like Stan Lee? If you say no,
I'm going to chuck this microphone, not at my camera because it's an expensive camera, but I'll be mad. With that being said,
I think the thing.
Damn it. I think that's going to close today's episode on Nerd Mythology. We love you guys 3,000.
We love you guys 3,000.
Next time. Catch you later.
Peace out.